there is it's got to be newer than 10 years. Okay? So we are really excited about this. And when you call and it's gone live, we'll bring you up to it. But if you want this, if anybody wants to pick up this, then tells you everything about it. And I ran it by a couple of new guys that are talking today, and I thought it was good enough.
Thank you, Margo. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Let me introduce you to one of our insurance partners. I think Tiffany and Phil are here somewhere in the house with Triton. Probably right in front of my face. There she is. Tiffany, thank you for your support.
Hey guys, is this on? Okay.
Yeah.
So I represent Triton Insurance. I'm Mike, who's not with me today. Between the two of us, we have about 30 years in insurance. And prior to that, we actually used to work in the mortgage industry. So between our prior mortgage and insurance, we have a very, very well-rounded establishment of the entire process when it comes to buying a house. So we understand what truly goes into that. And we are here to help you with all of your deals. I mean, if there's a funky product or a funky house out there that you guys are trying to sell, high value, we have every single company in the state. We actually just got appointed with a Geico, which is pretty amazing because they typically don't go out to admitted companies. Normally they're captive. So we just got our Geico commercial and for personal lines. So we're very excited this week. And this is Phil over here, Phil Gabelay. Phil is a newest member of Triton. So we're very excited to have him on board. And then I'm going to pass this off to Don.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Tiffany. You dropped something right behind you. Oh, look at you. You're just a walking promotion. There's business cards flying around. That's great. That is planned. That is genius. All right. As I said earlier, we have people representing different industries because we want to make sure we have the best partners available for all of our agent community. I know you might have seen the guy walking around with the crazy red jacket. We call him Frank the Bank, or if you know him really well, we call him something else. But Frank Cotto, you're welcome to come on up and say a quick hello. What's up, big boy?
That's right. Don't call me something else. All right. Welcome, everybody. Great to see everybody here. Real producers, absolutely love it. Exciting stuff right now. I want you to pull out your phones really quick and Google 30-year fixed mortgage rate. Just Google 30-year fixed mortgage rate. Click on the AI answer, which is always wrong half the time. But click on that AI answer. It says, like, what are today's rates? Right? I want somebody to yell out, what's the 30-year fixed VA or FHA rate on Google right now? I know what it is, but I want you to tell me. Somebody. We'll give you time to work the Google machine.
5.25.
No, liar! Oh, Keegan, I love you. What is it? Somebody, come on. 6.58, 6.87, 7.01. This is what they're showing on Google right now. The rate sheet on Lincoln Lending Group's webpage today says 5.75. How is that possible? Because we are a wholesale lender. If your clients are watching the news, if they're going to Google and they're seeing rates in the high 6s and low 7s, no shit, they don't want to buy. Right? It's because they don't know the truth. You need to work with a wholesale lender. Even if it's not Lincoln Lending Group, wholesale lenders have the ability to get the lowest rates in the industry. Now, they're not going to pay nothing to get 5.75. All right, you're going to pay 1.5%, something like that, depending on your credit score. But the key that I'm doing this, the reason I made you do that just now, is because this is what your consumers are looking at. This is what the TV is telling your consumers, and this is what the Google machine is telling them. We are the only people that can change that. We have to tell them the truth. That's why I share these rates in writing on the website. Conventional rates, 6.25%. VA, 5.75%. Jumbo, 6.125%. We can change the market together, but we have to educate our clients. So share out the rates, tell them they're better than what the Google machine tells you, and then maybe we can get this market rolling again. Anyway, I want everybody to scan this. That's on your table. This is our next Lunch and Learn. We've changed it up a little bit. A lot of people have asked about learning about construction financing, renovation loans, and vacant land financing. We're going to hit those topics really hard in this Lunch and Learn. Amongst all the other crazy products like the doctor loans, 100% for people who are not just doctor and 100% on every other product. Make sure you join us. This will sell out, and we'll have a couple awesome speakers besides myself. Hope to see you there. Go Real Producers. Woo!
Frank the Bank. Thank you, sir. Absolutely. Okay, continuing on with our partner series, we have from Homestretch, Bakari and Jen. Either one of you can come on up. Bakari and Jen are both here. And Homestretch is another one of these service providers that helps you get your property ready for sale.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you very much, Don. All right, guys. Good morning, everyone. My name is Jakari, and I have my team member Jen, and I'm here with Homestretch. And like Don mentioned, we are here to help eliminate stress for you and your clients by offering those cosmetic refreshes to get that house ready to be sold on the market. How often do you walk into your client's home for the very first time and it's photo ready? Thank you. Love the last. Right, that's where we come in. There are flyers on your table with our phone number, our email as well. We will come in and help refresh that home to get it ready for those new buyers. Some of our services include clear outs, so we'll come in, clear out basement, attics, garages, you name it. In addition, we also offer painting that's interior and exterior. We paint cabinetry as well, so cabinets, baseboards, doors, all that good stuff. We also do LVP installation and carpet. In addition to that, we also do some curb appeal, so we'll do some landscape cleanup. We'll come in and just refresh the front of that home. Obviously, that's usually the very first listing, so we want to make sure that that's appealing to all of your potential buyers. And last but not least, we also offer home cleaning, so we'll come in and make sure that everything looks really clean and nice for your open house and for those new potential buyers. And I do know that today's theme is Rising Stars, so I'm super excited to be new to the market. We started this year. We've already connected with several agents and have completed several jobs as well. So again, super excited to connect with all of you. We'll be sticking around, so if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. Thank you.
Thank you, Jakari. Good job, man. Appreciate it. Appreciate your support. Is John in the house? Premier Movers? There he is. I didn't get to say hi before. We gotta make sure you have a good moving service up in here. Here we go, John.
Thank you, Don. So I was on ChatGPT this morning, wanted to share a few stats. I do believe a lot of AI. I think the gentleman before said there were some non-facts, but so check these out. First of all, I've been in business, a business owner for 5 years now. I've learned so much. I actually learn a lot from these events, utilize them in my business. So I want to kind of share, what maybe you could learn from a moving company. But some stats we found. So it says ChatGPT, 87% of realtors quit within 5 years. So that is a very scary stat. But for contrast, about half, 50% of moving companies fail within 3 years. So we've got a really competitive market out here, right? Now, real estate, did you know only 25% of real estate leads are ever followed up more than one time? So that sounds like a lot of wasted leads. If we're not following up with leads more than one time at our company, we pride ourselves on the customer service and that sales process. Did you know 82% of real estate transactions come from referrals or repeat business? So 82% come from referrals or repeat business. So we're in a people business, right? We have to keep our connections, whether that's social media, email campaigns, but keep our connections with our people. So at Premier Movers, we really try to believe in out-caring our competitors. So that's our competitive edge, is that if somebody calls us, we're going to really make sure that they are taken care of and not just another number. So now 92% of buyers say they would choose a realtor that offers extra perks. So 92%. How do you guys provide extra perks to your customers? Could you do more? So we are offering a $100 gift card towards moving. So if anyone wants to check out our flyer, email me. We'll get you some $100 gift cards towards moving for your clients also. It's an affiliate program, so you'll get $60 for every referral that you do provide to us. So everyone, appreciate you. Rock on, Premier Movers for this.
Rock on, baby, rock on. I love the idea of offering something tied in to differentiate yourself as an agent, and that moving service could be one of those offers. So thank you, John. Appreciate it. Big Carl, where you at, my man? Comfortable closings? Calvin brought the heat today and brought his top person and said, all right, Carl's going to handle business.
Good morning. Hey, good morning, everybody. How about a round of applause for Don Hill and his team real quick, putting this all together. So I have a quick question for you. What's the first company that comes to mind when you think about the experience? And just kind of yell it out for me. Paramount. I'll give you my example. I'm a little bit of a big back. I'll give you my example. Chick-fil-A is one. What about Disney? I heard Disney. What else? Publix. All great examples. Amazon. All right, so let me ask another question. Why? Why Amazon? What about the experience? Simple. What about Publix? Great customer service, right? Pub subs. I love pub subs. Yeah, all these are great reasons, right? Now, by show of hands, how many real estate professionals we have in the room? Show of hands. Quite a few, right? So each and every one of you understands the value behind the experience that you give to your customer. It's the reason why a customer would choose you over another realtor, right? So let me give you an example. You have a customer trying to buy a home, right? What's the first thing they're going to do? Look out for a real estate agent, right? They call that agent, hey, Mr. Real Estate Agent, I have a growing family. I'm looking for a home, 4-bedroom, 3-bath, right? The agent's going to say, great, let's meet tomorrow and look at the properties. The customer meets with the agent the next day, and the agent's late to the appointment. They're driving around to go look at the properties, but they're driving around aimlessly like the agent didn't map out where these addresses are, because half the addresses are wrong. And the agent is busy taking calls for other clients in the middle of this appointment. What's that experience going to be like for that customer? Not a very good one, right? Right. Now on the flip side, same customer looking to purchase a home, agent meets with them. The agent's on time, excited to meet with them. They go to each location and it's been mapped out perfectly, so the drive is convenient. They get into the units, each one of the units are open and ready, they're staged, they're ready to be viewed. Of course the customer's gonna have a ton of questions, right? I'm sure y'all are used to that. And the agent is Johnny on the spot to answer all of their questions for them. Now, in contrast, what's that experience gonna be like? Much different, right? Much better, right? Exactly, and that's what we're striving to do here. My name is Carl. I'm the lead scheduler for Comfortable Closings. We are a nationwide mobile notary service. And we pride ourselves on ensuring that when it's time to close, you're going to have the most professional, highly trained, and vetted notary at that closing table to guarantee that your customer has an experience that they want to brag to their friends and families about and do over and over again. Sound good to y'all? Yeah. You have any questions afterwards? Come and see me. Thank you, Don.
Giddy up, Carl. Thank you for your support. Appreciate it, buddy. Is Joe Duffin in the house? I didn't see him earlier. Did I miss my man, Joe? All right. Shout out to First American Home Warranty as well. If you have home warranty needs, First American has been a partner of ours now since we started. We appreciate them. Let me bring up Ken Monroe with the Ease Association. Ease is also a group designed to help your business run with ease. There you go. Take that, Ken.
So, first of all, in recognition of a true top producer, I just want to congratulate Mr. Don Hill on his 6th childbirth last week. That's a top producer. So, my name is Ken Monroe. I know a lot of you already, but the name of my association is the Ease Association, and Ease stands for Entrepreneurs, Agents, Self-Employed. And what we do is we help our members grow by we use a research and evaluate all the new oncoming technologies in our solutions partner program to help you better apply and implement these things that are coming at us like a tidal wave, right? In the process of that, we partner with different vertical market leaders, and Don is certainly one of the strongest partners that we have for real estate. He's the partner for real estate. And so we've launched a New World Realtor program. 2 nights ago, we just had the New World Realtor event at American Social, not too far from here. And it was a great event. What we're doing with this program now is we've launched a platform called AIVA, A-I-V-A, Artificial Intelligence Virtual Assistant. You've heard some of these things online. You've seen them on Instagram. I'm just going to give you real quickly a very, very short example of how this manifests and how we're tuning it for the real estate market. So I'm calling a number. This is the Ease phone number. Now it's going to ring for a little while because I want it to give me an opportunity to answer the phone first. So the call comes in, it alerts me that it's coming in. I have a chance, I'm a little busy right now, so I'm not going to answer the phone, even though it's a great client calling. I can see it is. I want them to still be answered. I want to take care of what they want. So here's what we're going to do.
Hello, this is the Ease Association, and I am Ava, your AI virtual assistant. Are you calling to learn more about becoming an Ease member?
I am.
Great. Before we dive into the details, could you please share your name with me?
Yeah, my name is Ken Monroe.
Thanks, Ken. Let me confirm that for you. Kenmonroe. Is that correct?
There's no E at the end of Monroe.
Got it. So it's MONRO. Is that correct?
Yep.
Perfect, Ken. Could you also provide your email address?
Ken@easeassociation.com.
Thanks. Let me confirm that. KEN@EASEASSOCIATION.com.
Yeah,
Is
that's
that
right.
correct?
Yeah, that's right.
Awesome. Is the number you're calling from a good one for texting?
It is. Now she's got all my information. She put it
Great.
into the database.
Would you like to know more about the Ease Association and what we offer?
Yeah, tell me just a little bit about Ease, but I'm going to interrupt you in a second. But tell me what you can, please.
Sure thing. The Ease Association supports entrepreneurs, agents, and self-employed professionals. Our mission is to help members become more powerful, efficient, and profitable. We offer business growth programs and the Ease AI software to automate various aspects of small businesses.
Can you tell me real quick about the AVA program? What's that all about?
Absolutely. AVA is our A-driven virtual assistant module. It helps manage communication, handle appointment scheduling, qualify leads, and provide customer support efficiently.
Now, this is just
it's like
one
having
way
a personal assistant to streamline your business tasks.
Works on a web avatar.
Would you like more details
setting
or
up
perhaps
funnels,
schedule an
and
overview
websites,
with a
all
team member?
through prompts that we use. So I'll tell you what, let's do something different. I want to do a little demo here. I want you to act like you are my virtual assistant and I am a realtor. I own Ken Monroe Realty, and I want you to answer the phone as though you're my assistant, and I need you to qualify the people who are calling and find out whether they're buying, renting, or selling real estate. And if they're buying, I want you to walk them through typical realtor questions. When are they buying? Are they pre-qualified for financing? How big of a home? And what kind of a neighborhood they're looking for? Ready, go.
That sounds like a fun exercise. Let's give it a try. Rings phone. Hello, you've reached Ken Monroe Realty. This is Ava, your virtual assistant. How can I assist you today? Are you looking to buy, rent, or sell real estate?
Yeah, I'm looking to buy.
Great. When are you planning to make your purchase?
Probably in the next 120 days. Every one of these are getting recorded.
Sounds like a solid plan. Have you been pre-qualified for financing yet?
I am. I've been qualified for 1.5 million, but I'm looking for something in the 1 million range.
That's fantastic. What size home are you considering, and what kind of neighborhood are you interested in?
I'd like to get a gated community, something with a golf course. I want a pool in the back that's screened in.
I'm going to cut off Ava.
That sounds like a dream home. I'll make sure Ken gets all this info. Is there anything else you'd like to share about your preferences?
So, everybody get it? So you immediately get a text, an email as the user that's using this, and it'll put you on a call with the person immediately if you want them to, okay? So what we're offering as a part of this is, anybody, if you want to write this number down, the number is 813-213-3599. And for a special program only for Don's people, we're going to do, for $50 a month, we'll set up an AVA call a receptionist for you. And for the first 5 people that do this and call that number, we're going to do it for free. So I'll repeat that number. It's 813-213-3599.
Thanks. Thank you, Ken. Yep. Appreciate it. Actually, I'll take that one. Thank you, bro. Automation is definitely key to be able to create the lifestyle that you want as an agent or whatever your business model might be. Our last partner that I want to introduce you to, I always save you for last, Laura. I hope that's okay with you. You know, last but certainly not least. And that is none other than Lori LaCoppola with University Title. Love you. Thank you.
Thanks. Hi, everyone. Yes, Lori LaCoppola, managing partner with University Title. I'm very excited to be here. See so many beautiful faces. So University Title, right? We're title. We're not sexy. We're not fun. We do title. But what is it that we do above and beyond, right? So my commitment to this company and to my agents is to make sure that you are getting the best service possible. Everybody wants to kind of talk about, client relationship, right? We want to take care of the client. Well, you're my client. So I'm going to do whatever I can to make sure that you're happy. I'm going to make sure that I do whatever I can to help you grow your business. We've got, we use Qualia. We have listing to leads. We do fun content days. We do fun boat days. If you have a buyer that's coming into town and you're like, oh, they've never been down the river or through downtown, give me a call. Lori, can you get the boat for an hour? Let's go give them a tour. So you want to go door knocking? I'll go door knocking with you. You need help with an open house, right? It's a partner. I'm not your vendor. I'm not somebody that is, just going to kind of say, hey, use me and then walk away. I want to be there for you to help you grow your business. That's what's important to me, and that's my commitment to you for 2025. So I'm going to stay through the end. Lori, university title, if you have any questions, I'm here to answer them, and I appreciate you.
Thank you, Lori. Title might not be sexy, but you're bringing sexy back, Lori. All right, so to the title world, Okay, here we go. We're going to bring up our 4 panelists, and I'm going to do the intros really quick, and then we have a good time to be able to dive into all of our questions today. First person I want to bring on up is Mr. Carl Ahrens with Paramount Home Group. Carl. So again, our monthly topic here today is about rising stars, right? So Carl in his second full year in real estate, did over $12.5 million in volume last year with over 32 transactions. Still obviously has pending deals to come. One of the things that Carl and I have in common is we're very passionate about coaching youth sports. So I was cool to see that in your bio. I do the same with my boys, with our baseball teams. And I know that Keegan raves. Keegan is Carl's team leader with Paramount. Raves about his leadership and what he's brought to the team so far. We're excited to have you here. Let's give Carl a round of applause. Thank you. On this panel, you're going to notice we have 2 people that are focused on individual production, and we have 2 people that still do individual production, but also are building teams. So I wanted to have a little bit of diversity in a way with that group so you can see the different roles that we're going to have represented today. Let me go ahead and bring up Mr. John Morgan IV. Anytime you have the 4th after your name, it just adds a little power, I think, John, right? So John is with Keller Williams. Just a couple things about John. His first full year in real estate did 13 units, was figuring out the business. Second year did 12.9 million with 45 deals. Third year over 20 million with 38 sales. Fourth year over 23 million with 29 sales. He's the team owner now of the Morgan Capital Group. So John's one of those people I mentioned that is building a team as well as individual production. He does commercial and residential real estate. Thank you for being here, John. Let's give him a round of applause. Let's bring up Mr. Chris Jossi. What's up, Chris? The tallest guy in the house maybe today. I don't know. You or Carl. I guess we'd have to figure that out. Chris, also with Keller Williams as an individual producer here. I believe it was in your second year. No, maybe not second year. I forget it. Sixth year license in real estate. Last year then would have been 5th. Correct? If I'm doing the math right, that makes sense. Over 30 transactions, over 12 million in volume last year. I know Chris's team leader, Tony Baroni. Many of you might be familiar with the Tony Baroni team. Tony and I talked. Tony's in a monthly mastermind that we've been hosting, and I asked Tony if he had any advice on somebody on his team who he thought would be a great person for this panel. And the first person off the top of the head was Chris. You got to have Chris on the panel. He's been a leader within that team, obviously leading through self-production. He wrote down there's 2 rules he wants to live by early in life. If it's worth doing right, and if you're going to do it right the first time. So thank you for being here. Let's give Chris a round of applause. And our 4th panelist is Mr. Neil Boyd. Come on up, Neil. Neil is the co-team lead for the Ely Boyd Group. Got licensed back in 2018. He did over $10 million in his second year in real estate. Did $14 million in his third year in real estate. Over 38 homes, close to 40 transactions. Neil is one of those I mentioned that's also now building a team. So he's trained 2 brand new agents who had 0 volume under their name yet to obviously become producers and then start their own teams over the last year. His team did over 40 million last year with over 80 transactions. So those are your 4 panelists today. Let's give them a round of applause. All right. So what we're going to do is dive right in, and the first question we're going to spend some time on is telling us a little bit about the journey, specifically your first full year in real estate. Obviously, we're trying to flush out some ideas for people to help them become rising stars, or maybe there's people in this room who are running teams and want to help as many team members that they can become rising stars, right, in their organization. So if you think about the first year in the business for yourself, or maybe some things you've learned in helping your agents, what do you think are some of the key things that really need to be in place in that early time, that first full year when you're trying to get traction? You know, things are usually pretty hectic when people are trying to figure this business out for the first time. So what are some key principles that you think are important in that first year to get off to a fast start? We'll start with Neil. And by the way, as I go through some of these questions, if for any reason you feel like you don't have anything you want to add to that particular question, we have plenty of other ones to get to. So don't feel obligated that you have to ask or answer every single question. But Neil, we'll start with you. I'll have all of you share on this first one. Good morning, everyone. So first and foremost, as a new agent, you need to, whether you're on a team or you're a single agent with a new brokerage, you need to meet the top producers on your team and in your brokerage. Go pick their brain. Go offer to host open houses. Open houses is the quickest way to get business as a new agent looking to grow. Meet all the top agents. You'll find real estate is a R&D. It's a rip-off and duplicate business. It always will be. Whatever works for other agents is going to work for you. So find out what they're doing. There's no secret sauce. You just have to work. If you want to be a successful agent, you got to work. You got to be a student of the game right from day one, especially in your first year. Love it. Chris?
So if you didn't know why you got into real estate, I think knowing your why is going to be key to your success because as Don was saying, many agents fail. They don't fail. They probably, a lot of them give up because they didn't put the effort into it. I've talked to people, I've heard people say, well, or asked why you get into real estate. Well, so I can have a flexible schedule. So I don't know if flexible schedule means that you take calls at 9 o'clock at night from somebody that's asking a question that could have been asked at, say, 12 o'clock in the middle of the day. But knowing your, as of Tony, he came to me one day after our networking meeting. He said, hey, I think you'd be a good fit for the team. We had lunch. He went from soup to nuts about what real estate was like, and I knew what it was like going into it. Had a conversation with my wife and decided that this was going to be my last career change. I will die as a real estate agent. But it took me almost 50 years, but I found my passion. And I found my why early on, so I latched on to it, and I haven't looked back from there. So that's my advice.
And your background was in like pest management, wasn't it, prior to real estate?
Yeah, pest sales and service and transportation prior to that.
John?
Yeah, so I believe that creating a schedule is really important. A lot of people get into real estate with the, like he said, you know, they want a flexible schedule and they want freedom. And you can kind of have that, but it's important to have structure in your day. So if you're not scheduling every single one of your days and deciding what you're going to focus on every day, I think you're going to have it's going to be hard. You're going to find a lot of inconsistency in your business. So just stay consistent with your schedule. And, you know, one day maybe you can have a little bit of freedom, but I believe at first you definitely need to be very, very structured and have a good plan. So.
Makes sense, John. Carl?
For me, in the first year, it's more soaking up all the knowledge that you can soak up, jumping on every shadowing opportunity that you can. Like we said down there, meeting with mentors, finding a team maybe if that works out for you, but getting with people who know more than you, picking their brain, and being able to leverage resources. That's the biggest thing you can do because what you don't know, somebody else may know.
Yeah, I wrote down two quick things that were common themes from what you guys already said. One was this idea of proximity is power. Who you choose to spend your time with and surround yourself with is really going to dictate a lot of how far you go, not only in real estate but in life. And so ultimately that's a principle that I try to guide myself by is who do I really want to invest, you know, other than what I couldn't say with my wife and all my 6 kids, but like proximity is power for sure. The other one I jotted down was time blocking. Such an important habit. I know John mentioned the importance of your schedule. And it's so common for real estate agents, especially if they don't have a background in running businesses before, to just expect that real estate's going to be easy and all the freedom that you mentioned. And without having that discipline of a time block schedule, it could be a pretty rough start, right? And so that's a habit that I would encourage anybody to really figure out as to how you're going to block your time properly. If you don't even know what that is, there's plenty of resources to help you with that through your team and through online. So let's evolve a little bit to some of you had a really quick start in year 1 and immediately popped off as a top producer. A couple of you, it took maybe the second year, right? That things really started clicking, and then you started getting those results from your top producing. So I'd like to just touch on the evolution a little bit from, say, year 1 to year 2. And this could be personal to your own experience, your own journey, or once again, if you want to use an example of somebody that you've worked with, that's fine as well. But talk a little bit about how your business evolved from year 1 to year 2, and if there was a key reason or anything that stands out to you as to what helped you make it click, right? What helped you get to that top year, whenever that first year for you was, that things really made sense. Why don't we start with Carl on this side?
So for me, from year 1 to 2, I like to use a sports analogy as things are starting to move slower. Not the business, but you're starting to understand and grasp concepts. It's a lot clearer picture for you.
Those long days, late nights are paying off for me. The decisions to not go hang out with friends and spend time working, making those sacrifices allowed me, if we're looking from a number standpoint, year one, just about 4.8 million in volume and 11 closed pending sales, to year two, 32 closed and pending, and over 12.6 in volume. So it's basically the grind, working nonstop and understanding that there's sacrifices that have to be made.
Yeah, so when I first started, I didn't make any sales for about 7 months, and it was really tough. And I didn't really think about giving up, but I was like, maybe didn't have a choice because I was running out of money. And I worked very, very hard, and I just didn't really understand what it would take to finally start producing. And once I finally figured it out, my goal at that point was to just replicate that over and over again. And then at that point, it just comes down to scaling it. So do whatever I'm doing that works. Okay, I figured that out. Great. It took me a little while. And then now my goal is to scale it. And then that's where you can really increase your numbers. So whether scaling is, replicating yourself by maybe having a team, or maybe having more purchasing power to advertise more, or like buy leads and things like that. That's kind of, yeah.
So for me, being part of a team, you kind of have that advantage of some of your lead sources coming from the team itself, but that doesn't guarantee your success. They could dump 1,000 leads in your lap, but if you do nothing with them, then you're going to fail. What kind of catapulted me from year 1 to 2, I think I did 16 my first year, and then around 30 or something my second year, and I've been in the 30 to 40 range since then, is realizing that I'd always approached this in sales, but it's not about me. And that's what I see in a lot of, I don't say a lot, but a good portion of agents. They make it about themselves. They don't make it about their clients. They don't show their clients that they care, that they're genuine. And for me, I'm not bragging about the number of reviews that I have, but the reviews that I've had people gracious enough to write for me, they speak to my level of care for them, and they see that as genuine. So for me, when somebody picks up the phone and they call me 3 years later and they're asking me a question, they might not want to buy or sell, but they're calling me because they trust me. And from that trust, that's how my business grows. I was telling somebody earlier, I have one client, they consider me family. They bought 3 houses with me so far, and there's more to come. So if you get your clients to understand that you really care about them, that this is a people business. This is about buying or selling real estate or investing. It's about people. And when you get that, you'll see your business change.
I think for me as a new agent, year 1, it was I hope this works out kind of a mentality. And then, I sold 12 homes in the first year. From year 1 to year 2, my mentality changed from I hope this works out to this is my career, this is my business. So then I changed my schedule daily to working like I'm in a business versus I hope this works out. And I think, from year 1 to year 2, I woke up every day with a mentality that I was unemployed unless I found a deal. So I made a conscious effort to time block, to use a CRM, follow up with people, and that's why my production went significantly higher between year 1 and year 2. And that's the most important thing as a new agent. You have to dedicate and make it a business. It's not just a job, it's a business, and it's a potential career. The unique thing about being a real estate agent is you are self-employed, whether you're on a team or you're a single agent. So you have to, the sky's the limit. There's no limit to how much you can make, but you have to do everything, the little things every single day to give yourself the best opportunity to succeed.
Yeah, good stuff there, guys. Years ago, I remember one of my mentors, when I was kind of wishy-washy about my commitment level to certain functions of our business model at the time, sat me down and talked to me about what it really means to be committed, right, to whatever. And you talked about this right now, Neil, in terms of if you really want to be great as a real estate agent, it's not about putting the toe halfway in to the pool. The actual definition of the word commit is to cut off all other possibilities, right? So whether that's in a business experience or in a relationship even, it's this concept of, are you really committed to being successful in it, or are you just interested in being successful at it? And I think most of the agents that I've had the pleasure of interviewing that have been very successful, they're all in, right? They truly are committed to what it takes to be successful in the business, and that's a mentality thing. I know that it's common for a lot of agents to you probably hear this if you're a team leader, like, if they just had more leads, everything would be great, right? It's always a lead-driven business or question. And obviously leads play a role. There's no doubt about that. So I'd like you guys to address your experience with the process of growing your business from a marketing standpoint, leads, whether those were given to you as part of your team, you mentioned that, Chris, or if it was something that you had to get good at self-generating, right, from the very beginning. And also, I know, like Chris said, there are many examples of agents who get leads from day one, but they don't convert very well, right? And so there is the experience of, that's a skill set too, right, is the conversion side of the lead. So if you guys could touch on that a little bit about just what your experience has been like with generating leads and whether there's been challenges there or challenges on the conversion side, and see if there's something that we can flush out there. Would anyone like to go first? John, go ahead.
Yes, I have a good story. I had an agent that worked on my team early on, and I was paying for internet leads. They were pretty reasonably priced, but I gave her about 70 leads, and one day, she had closed maybe 3 in like 6 months, which was okay. It wasn't that great, but it's funny because one day, I put a lot of my heart and soul into her, especially at first. You tend to, like, whenever you first start a team, you like really take these people on and really just do whatever. You pour a lot into them. So she one day just decides to quit, and I was like, "Why did you quit?" It's, just want to know, like, I'm not trying to, ask you to come back, but like, why did you leave? And she says, well, I don't know, like, the leads are not that good and this and that, and she came up with some other things. It's like, okay, well, I'm really sorry to see you go and this and that, but good luck to you. So I go back into my CRM and I looked at how many leads I gave her, and I'm really trying to figure out, like, okay, I don't want this to happen again. I lost somebody who I thought was really valuable to me. So I look back and I gave her 75 leads, and she didn't close any of them, of the 75 leads, with this particular form. So I was pretty fired up because I was like, that's 75 leads, that's a lot of money, thousands of dollars. Even though they're inexpensive, they're still expensive leads, all of them. But I ended up calling 75 leads, and I ended up getting 3 sales from those 75 leads. So, it shows you, and also 2 of those people had already purchased or had a listing up. So it shows you, like, if I was handling those leads, I would have gotten 5 or 6 sales. She handled the leads, she got 0. She's blaming the leads. No, it's not. It's her. Her skills were not good enough to convert those at a high level. And, it just shows you right there that, you have to work on your skills. It's usually you got to look at yourself. If you're not getting the results that you desire, it's you. Look at you, look what you can change, what you can do to, get the results you desire.
Did you have the old, the leads are weak, you're weak conversation?
The leads are bad.
You're weak. All right, who's next?
So before real estate, I did 2 years of door-to-door sales. Not even in Tampa. For 2 summers. The first summer I went to Brooklyn, never been to Brooklyn before. The next summer I went to Houston. And I found out very quickly, I'm not a phone guy. I'm not comfortable calling leads. I'm not comfortable getting on the phone. But if I have you face-to-face, either there's something wrong with you or you're going to fall in love with me, and we're going to have a great conversation at the very least. So I had to take that into real estate. Everybody, whether you're on a team or you're paying for your own leads as a single agent, most leads are probably 6 months or longer out from actually being ready to transact. So the follow-up is the biggest thing. And I knew that getting my face in front of that person was going to give me the best opportunity because that was my comfort zone. So I might not call them, but you better believe I'm going to get on a text, and I'm going to send them a video directed from me, personalized to them. And I got a lot of success from doing that. So you got to find out what your comfort level is, and sometimes what your discomfort level is. You have to get uncomfortable to succeed, but find out what works and build off of that. I think that's the biggest thing, is finding out where you're comfortable and trying to build off of what that is.
Good stuff. Chris, go ahead.
So who likes opportunity when you've got the chance at potentially gaining some business? Anybody in here?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you want to know how you actually make that happen? You got to answer your damn phone. I can't tell you how many people I speak to, usually at least once a week, and they said, I've called 10 realtors. Guess what? You're the only people that answered your phone. So I'm sure you've heard speed to lead. Speed to lead's great, but if you answer the phone and then you set up another conversation, you never follow up with them, well, why did you bother in the first place? It's really about being present when you get the opportunity with that lead. And again, making them feel like they're important, whether it's setting up your appointment or taking it then and there, setting it up for another time and then being on time for that appointment. And who here likes referrals? I guess most of you. Do you ask for referrals? Okay, make it a point to ask for referrals. We have our meetings every week, and we go through our numbers for the previous week. And one of the things I notice is that we have asking for referrals and asking for reviews, and oftentimes those numbers. And question: Are you getting reviews? No. Are you getting referrals? Well, if you're not asking for them, you're not going to get them. Ask. You'd be surprised at what people are willing to give you when you ask them for it.
Great stuff.
Okay, Carl. So one thing that for me as an agent, and we preach at Paramount, is being able to effectively move leads down the sales funnel. Okay, the lack of follow-up, like everyone's talking about, is as a newer agent, sometimes you're all over the place and you don't know how to manage that sales funnel and to move them down. So the biggest thing with it's not the lead, it's maybe look in the mirror and the person handling it and managing that sales funnel.
Good stuff. Yeah, there's a whole conversation to be had about the importance of understanding the sales funnel, right? And realizing how to be able to move that lead through there. Most agents are just kind of fixated on wanting the hot lead when they're perfectly in the right moment and the right timing, but that's not 98% of the leads, right, that are going to be coming in, and having something to help you support that is really important. Next question is related to lessons that you feel like you've learned from some of the challenges that you've had to overcome, right? I feel like we tend to learn a lot through adversity, and ultimately, I've never met a successful agent who didn't have some element of adversity that they had to overcome, right? Whether that was personal or business nature, whatever the case may be. So I'm curious what you think your biggest challenge was. Could be in your first year, could be since then. And is there a lesson that you feel like you learned from that biggest challenge that you personally experienced? And then we'll touch on after that maybe something you've noticed from other agents as well. We'll get to that. But from you personally, what do you think your biggest challenge was and what you learned from it?
Being able to fail forward. My previous sales experience, you think that you can just turn it on and a switch. When it comes to real estate, it's not that easy. So being able to fail forward and being okay with sloppy success. It doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to keep reinventing the wheel and no conversion happens from it.
Thank you.
For me, it was learning to stay in your lane. Oftentimes we're tempted to kind of want to wander into territory we're unfamiliar with. Probably the worst thing that most agents do is they offer some degree of legal advice. Well, unless you got a law degree, you're not a lawyer. So I don't recommend that you offer legal advice. If you think you know the answer, great, give them that, but make sure you follow up with, I'm not a lawyer and you need to talk to a lawyer about this. That'll save you a lot of headaches.
And could be a lot of money.
Yes.
So for me, especially in year one, the biggest, I guess, struggle for me was managing the emotional roller coaster of being an agent that has success and thinking that you can let your foot off the gas pedal because you're rich now all of a sudden. You're not, but is keeping never letting the highs get too high, never letting the lows get too low. The mindset of keeping the emotions in check, and just because you had a good month doesn't mean you can take your foot off the gas pedal. What's fueling your business the next 3, 4, 6 months? I found myself in year one, I had a good check and I'm like, cool, I can take a break. No, and then guess what happened? 90 days later, I had no business going. So that was the biggest struggle for me in year one, and that was a big difference between making it a business versus I think I can do this, let's see how it goes.
That's a great lesson. Oh, you got a round of applause on that one, Neil. Johnny, want to add?
More. Yeah, so I believe that most, with real estate, I can do pretty much every task in real estate, and that's, I think a lot of you probably feel the same way, whether it's computer work, whether it's contracts, or whatever it might be. But what I learned is that I can't do everything if I'm going to really take my business to the highest level and give the best service to the clients and also scale it as best I can. So what was really hard for me is giving up control to other people that are experts at certain things, and utilizing the resources that I have. Very important. If you're finding something that's taking up a lot of time, you probably want to pay somebody to do it. If you really are having a hard time managing it, whether it's a transaction coordinator, whether it's a full-time assistant, or whatever the case may be. So that was the hardest thing for me. And once I did that, it was like a big weight lifted off my shoulders. I'm like, wow, I can really focus on what I'm really good at doing and making the most money possible.
Yeah, great stuff there, guys. I think there's a huge difference between the agent who's running their business, you know, trying to grow it like a business, and you can't do that if other people aren't involved, right? Which is why we even have preferred partners in this room, exactly to help you build that business. But do you really want to be, you know, in your business or work on the business, right? There is a difference, and most business owners that I've met are very successful at working on the business. That's where hyper growth tends to come from. Creating better systems, seeing where the pinpoints are, making those adjustments. But if you're constantly just chasing the business, you tend to be working in it. And that makes it very hard to have that perspective, you know, and sit back and make the needed changes. So this next question is tied to, similar to the mistake theme. As you can tell, I believe we tend to learn a lot from the things we do wrong. What are some common mistakes that you think you've seen newer agents make specifically, whether these are people within your own team or whether you're a team leader or not? These could be other agents in your own office, right? Your own brokerage, people you've just seen in the business that have really struggled to get things going. I'm sure you've all had that experience and seen those agents. Is there any commonalities that you've seen where you look at it and you're like, I've seen this before, I know what this person's going through, they're struggling the same way X person did for the same exact reasons? What jumps out at you as to some of the most common mistakes that new agents make that maybe we can identify and hopefully eliminate eventually?
So the biggest one that I notice is not knowing the difference between being busy and being productive. You have to be productive to produce. You know, just because you're out looking at houses and you're busy doing real estate things, that's not production. Production is reaching out to people, telling everybody you know, having real estate conversations. So I think that's the biggest thing. People think they're busy, but they're not being productive. It goes back to what John was saying about, you know, if something takes a long time but it's not adding to your production, then put that task on someone else and pay them a small fee for it.
Anyone else want to jump in on that question?
I think I mentioned this earlier. Answer your damn phone. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I had one instance recently. I had somebody looking at new construction. It's a independent builder. They've had an agent listing it. The 1st, it was around the beginning of February. I finally got hold of that agent yesterday. Over 2 weeks later, that agent finally responded to me after, I don't know, a dozen calls, dozen texts. The sad thing was, I couldn't even reach their brokerage. So that was the worst part of it. So, and it's one of the bigger names in our industry. So it goes down to answer your phone. If you're with somebody, I get it. You don't want to take away from that person, but there are way, way too many agents who don't answer their phone. And the worst ones that don't answer their phones are the listing agents that are supposed to be selling somebody's home.
It's free.
I see a common mistake with agents, which is I always found interesting. Not everybody, but there's some that will be very, very transactional. Like, what I mean by that is, like I've offered opportunities to agents where maybe they make money, maybe they don't, I don't know, maybe it's a rental, you know, and they'll pass those opportunities up, and I think that's a really big mistake, especially starting out. You know, you can really learn a lot by, you know, going out, and you never know, like, just offer your services, like, if it's for free, then it's for free, like, just learn and talk to people, like, not everything, it has to have a dollar, like, amount tied to it, you know, and also remember that this is a relationship business, so, like, if you're transactional with your clients, then they're going to be transactional with you, and that's, you know, when it comes down to later on, when it comes down to selling another home or getting referrals or, you know, using you in the future, you know, they're probably not going to use you if you didn't really stand out and do something special. So, you know, whatever it is, if somebody needs a home, you're not doing anything, why not just go out and start showing them some homes for free? Who cares? You know, it's not, don't be that way.
That's great.
So the biggest thing I see newer agents make is mindset. You know, a lot of times coming into business, whether it be, you know, you're looking at commission splits and you have no clue about how the splits work or the knowledge or what you're getting for that splits. Another thing I see as far as asking questions, you know, being able to just have that genuine conversation with somebody to build rapport and get to know them rather than just jumping into the first thing they say or being a yes ma'am, yes sir type of agent.
Yeah, there's some really great stuff there. I just wanted to recap 3 quick things. One is I read a blog recently about the power of one of the biggest, I guess, blocks to productivity in most business owners is our email, right? And so you guys were talking about delegating certain things that probably are not being productive in our business. And this may or may not be true for you, but just how much time do you really spend on kind of going through your email every single day? Because that's a huge time suck for so many business owners and agents alike. The second thing, and there are so many different resources nowadays especially that can literally handle your entire email inbox. You don't even have to look at it until like you're notified what are the important ones, right, that you should address. And so that's something to think about. The second is having a bigger picture perspective. Like you said, the power of relationships, right? So if you get an opportunity to help somebody with something that maybe you're not even going to make a great commission on in that particular deal, does that mean that might not, are you really in the business to serve, or are you in the business just because you're looking for the next commission check? And ultimately, the people who are serving usually end up making the biggest commissions. It's funny how that works. But you have to have a bigger picture perspective to understand that. And then I love what you said, Carl, about chasing commission splits. I can't tell you how many agents that I've had conversations with who have like hopped around from like broker to broker to broker to broker because somebody else offered them a different commission split, yet they've done like less than 10 deals in their career. And it's like, okay, maybe you should get good at the job first before you worry about how much you're going to make on the next deal. And then you can, there might be a time where it makes sense, right, to actually switch based on a better opportunity. But if you're still trying to figure out how to at least get 20 to 30 deals under your belt, commission splits should be the last thing that you're worried about, right? Figuring out this business first to be able to go from there. All right, we only got a couple of minutes left. I appreciate all the insights so far. This one I think is interesting, just the concept of now that you've been in the business for anywhere from 2 years, as high as maybe 6 years, like what do you get excited about now? We're still early in the year, right? 2025. I'm sure you guys had some goals for this year. Where is your vision taking you for what you're most excited about for this year and even beyond? If you're already thinking about even next year or beyond, what you're trying to grow towards, what you're trying to build, what's that vision look like that might inspire some people? Anybody want to go first?
Yeah, so at Paramount Home Group, Keegan started a leadership team. So for me, within the next 4 years, I'll have 100 transactions under my belt. Hopefully be a team lead out of a division of Paramount Home Group. And then just to be industry known and respected.
Love it. Thank you, buddy.
My excitement more so is for what's happening. I mean, there's a lot out there in the market, and there's a lot of tools to help. At least on the buy side, all I do is help buyers, so that's my focus. But I see more and more opportunity, and if you haven't reached out to your preferred lenders recently, talk to them. There's more and more tools coming on the market that are going to help those people that are kind of at that tipping point of can I buy, can I not buy, can I afford, can I not afford. Have those conversations because I see good things coming despite whatever we get thrown at us. People are always going to need a place to live.
So I'm excited. I know last year the big topic for real estate was the NAR lawsuits, the commission changes as far as how they're offered and all that. I'm excited. Our team has a commercial division and residential. I'm strictly residential. My business partner, Cash Ely, he's commercial. But on the commercial side, the commissions have always been negotiable, especially on the buy side. So I'm excited that we get to negotiate that with our offer as buyer's agents with the seller directly a lot of times. So I embrace that. Before we took it at surface value what was offered on the MLS, and we weren't able to negotiate that. So if you're on the fence of kind of scared or not knowing what's going on, embrace that. Now you get to negotiate your commission as a buyer's agent, and that means we should all get raises based on that. I'm just saying. So
What's your value?
3%. I love it. I always, when I put an offer in, regardless of what is being offered, I'm always going to put 3%. Guess what happens? We negotiate it. But you know what? You don't take it at surface value anymore. It's all negotiable. That's the whole point of this NAR lawsuit. So embrace it. Learn how to negotiate. If you learn how to negotiate, you're going to be one step ahead of all your peers, all your colleagues. Know what you're worth. Know your worth and ask for it. Someone said something about that earlier. Ask for it. The worst they're going to say is no. What do you have to lose?
Yeah, so what I'm most excited about is I see in the past I didn't really like working with investors very much. I was more of a connection kind of person and building relationships with clients. But I see so much opportunity there in Tampa for investments, and I see a lot of upside. And with this hurricane and a lot of the homes that were destroyed, which is very unfortunate for those people. But however, on the other side, there's a lot of opportunity for us to make relationships with investors, or even our own clients and family, and kind of help them, guide them to financial freedom and get them into a really good spot with real estate where they can maybe retire one day off of that, and you can be a part of their life in that. So I love the fact that I can really help people to that level is very fulfilling for me as as a person. So
Yeah, it's funny when you look historically over all the markets that have had some sort of geographical challenge or tragedy take place, there tends to be some real booming markets after that, right? And so there is opportunities to be had when there's these challenges that arise. All right, last thing, we're gonna do this rapid fire. I'd like you to just think about, do you have a favorite, book, podcast, author, event maybe that you've ever attended that you felt like made a big impact on you professionally to help you grow your business? Just a quick rapid fire share and we'll wrap up. Anybody come to mind? John?
Yeah, so when I first started, as I told you guys earlier, I wasn't making any money for like 6 or 7 months, and I was almost broke. I spent my last dollars on a training course with Keller Williams called Build, and that was transformational for me. It really changed my mindset, like he talked about, and some of these other things like time block management, all the stuff that I'm talking about, I learned through there. And I was like, when you're broke, you make sure that you're listening to everything, you're writing down every single thing you could possibly, write down, and you're trying to get maximum value. And it's funny because right after that, my business blew up, and then my first year I did $3 million, and then my second year I did 46 transactions, I think. So it was very significant for me. So
good stuff. Thanks for Anybody else want to share?
Okay. Brian Buffini, they have 100 Days of Greatness. If you're a newer agent, you're not at the production that you want to be. That taught me what production was and what I needed to do, the tasks I needed to do every day to actually produce. So that was a rude awakening for me. It really just changed my mindset of what I thought I was productive. I thought I was, doing the right things, but I wasn't even, it was probably a fifth of what I should be doing. All these different training courses that are real estate focused, they're all about adding contacts to your database every single day. They all have the same general message. So pick one, do it, and you'll get production before you even finish it. Love it. Chris?
The one thing, if you haven't read it, I encourage you to read it. It was transformational for me because it allowed me to figure out what my one thing is, and that's helped me find the success I have.
Love that. Carl, you want to wrap us up?
Yeah, so current book I'm reading now is author A.M. Myers. It's Millionaire Mindset and Habits to Success.
Millionaire Mindset and Habits to Success.
Yes.
Good stuff. Let's give our panel a round of applause. A lot of nuggets there. And I always kind of encourage you guys as attendees to recognize that when you come to events like this, all it really takes is one good idea that you can implement right away to make it worth your time. So I would encourage you and challenge you to take action on something. I don't care what it is. We flushed out a lot of ideas, but what is one thing that you can leave with that is going to make it worth it? Because I don't like people getting into the habit of just going to things and then nothing changes, right? So try to take action on at least one thing. We have a little gift for you guys that were here today. One of our partners, Tim, over with Time for Wine, does these great closing gifts. And so you guys have your branded logo with your name on it and a little bit of I think a quote or something on here as well. So just thank you for being here. Let's give one more round of applause. Thank you. Jalissa will give them out. Thank you, my friend. Can we give Jalissa a round of applause as well for being an amazing event coordinator? All right, last thing I'm going to say, on the tables you might have seen these QR codes floating around. There's a bunch of different things that you could scan, but the one I'm going to point out, if you want to subscribe to our podcast called Top Producers Nation Podcast, you can do that on YouTube. We interview top producers every single week. We do 2 interviews every Friday morning. But this one group that I wanted to point out is called Top Producers Nation. There's a code that's on your table. If you don't have it in front of you, you can find it at topproducersnation.com. We have a free report over the hundreds of interviews that I've had a chance to do over the years. I've noticed certain patterns and trends that really help agents become top agents. So there's 4 principles that we created a free report on, and if you're interested in that and you'd like to grab that free report, you can grab it at topproducersnation.com. You also get invited to join our community, which is free, and we can give you more insights there as to how you can get access to resources and stuff like that. So that's all at topproducersnation.com. Hopefully we'll see you here next month, which we're diving into new construction is our topic next month right here, third Thursday, crushing it in new construction. So we'll see you later. No, but like.